Ashu, it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Same here. Thank you.
The first thing I want to learn from you is what does it take to build a very good business model and help it sustain for 15 years and still going great?
Absolutely, Mateen, and thank you for having me again over here. The way we looked at it is, I think you have to find a need in the market. But then the more important part comes around is how do you build the culture of the company? How do you keep focused on the mission? So in our case, we defined the mission as helping clients gain competitive advantage through innovative software solutions, and we stayed focused on that. But that's just a directional. What are the foundational pillars? So in our case, actually, we were very fortunate. Early on, we decided on three core values: people first, technology leadership, and execution excellence. That drove our direction over time. If I were to think about sort of the single most important thing that really helped us, is all around people first. I think our belief is if you put people first, both in terms of how you treat them, how you value them, how do you harness their power, employees, customer, partners, vendors, whoever we interact with, we always put the people aspect first. And I think that allowed us to build these relationships that allow you to survive ups and downs of the macroeconomic climate that you go through, because folks know they can rely on you. You also have to bring in core values around the technology and execution, because they have fiduciary responsibility for their organization. So you need to help them, but I think it all starts with sort of building it on our core value of people first.
So I want to build on the core values. We are in the heart of capitalism and also in the heart of innovation in Silicon Valley. People tend to think across the board that a business is successful because profit is essential for business, which is true, but not at the expense of your customers or at the expense of your employees. So you mentioned earlier a mantra that you said is a purpose-driven innovation. So let's build on that and see what you have to say on that.
Sure, absolutely. In fact, it's very interesting you picked on that. That's something that's very core to my heart. I believe very strongly in it. In fact, I run a fireside chat session where I bring in leaders to talk about this idea of purpose-driven innovation. I have a firm belief, Mateen, that purpose and profit need to be balanced. Anyone going too much in one direction can cause harm overall. I think you cannot be just profit-driven, or you cannot be just purpose-driven and not have any profits. I find organizations over time are realizing that if they balance it well, they provide a better environment for their team, a more sense of accomplishment for their team members, a better longevity with the organization. It is not an easy element, and something that I'm going to talk about today again in the panel, but it is something that you have to continue strive and help your leaders, next level leaders, as well as younger employees to understand that there is a common purpose that we are going towards, and we are going to balance it as we drive for profit. So it is an important area, I would say, over here.
And entrepreneurship is exciting, it's adventurous, it's passionate, yet it is not everybody's cup of tea. You cannot take an innovation and convert immediately into an entrepreneurship, a successful one at that. What I wanted to learn from you and for our audience is, as a successful entrepreneur running this company for 15 years, if I were to ask you pick one area where you or the company excels, so we can learn from that and pass it on to the up-and-coming entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. I think in our case, Mateen, what we realized early on is you have to be really, really good at one thing, and then you can expand on it over time. But really, for our first 10 years of our existence, we stayed very, very focused and niche, sort of inch wide and mile deep, rather than trying to be mile wide and inch deep. And that really paid off very well for us, and built it over time with our teams and organization. I think for anyone to think about becoming an entrepreneur, I think good ideas are a lot of them available, but you have to figure out how to build a team and execute on a sustained basis. I think you're going to have high highs and low lows, if you have the right team around you, if you are focused on the mission overall, what you're trying to accomplish, I think you'll be able to build successful companies through the myriad turns that you're going to go through in there.
Well, all good information and very good advice. But again, I'm really impressed and wishing you continued success for the business. Thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Mateen. Really appreciate being here. Thank you. Take care.